teach my kids that because it's good for vegetables and geography. Same song. Same song. Same song. Well, thank you for sharing that great song with us, everyone.
The soup mix in general is a complete meal. There's always peas or beans or something for protein, and there's basically all the nutrients the body would need in there, so I'm focusing on that. But if you look up at the top, there's the old barn that I mentioned. Now this is actually a tobacco drying barn built in 1927. It's been here a few years, so that's what they started with when they got here. They had a lot of work to do. It's all dirt floors inside and a roof that leaked, and so they put a lot of work into it before he got started, and it's really gone a long way since. And the big map on the wall is a representation of which countries the soup has gone to. Now, if you're wondering if it's actually gone to a certain country or not, look at the little list on the corner, because they stopped drawing arrows a while ago, and there's a lot more countries than arrows.
And it's all shipped through NGOs, like, or organizations?
NGOs do a big part of it, but it's not just that. There was a shipment went to Haiti last year, a fellow who just started working a little bit at a time, has an orphanage in school and all that now. He came and got some for that. And actually we just heard he's going to be, he had barrels left over. He's shipping a lot of that to Port-au-Prince right now. Leftover stuff he had to help there. It's basically the way the shipment goes. We don't ship the soup ourselves that often. It's done through a process. You can apply online, or I'm sure we can get you an application in other words, but it's got to be a Christian organization, and obviously it's got to be reputable to the point where we think they're actually going to take it to poor people, not go sell it somewhere. And you can just apply for how much you'd like, and then the board members that are in charge of that will go through them and kind of research them, and we divvy it out that way. Now, yes, World Vision has done a lot, MCC has done a lot, Missions Without Borders, there's a lot of the big organizations that do take a lot of it around the world as well. Yeah, we've got some spots for RVs. There's a lot of people that come and will just park and help out while they're here. And as far as the groups you were talking about, June, July and August, basically when the school's out, we get a lot of youth groups, and not just youth groups, but church groups and things that'll actually come and camp on the property and help out for a week at a time. We try and arrange them 1 week groups. So that's where a lot of our summertime help comes in, especially beginning of June sometime we'll get peppers, and they're one of the more labor intensive. We've had 70 people out there cutting peppers in a day, and works out great because you get a lot more peppers. And the frozen stuff that I've mentioned earlier is a real nice buffer for me organizing, because in a full day of, with 12 people or so, I can get 5 dryer loads of that frozen vegetables. But I need 70 people to get a full day of peppers, so it's a nice balance. If there's 40 people, I just do some of each, and it works out good, and try and get the maximum amount every day by that. If we just had one or the other, if we just had peppers and only 30 people, we would only probably get 2 dryers. So this stuff is really nice for getting the maximum amount of food we can. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it's around $100,000 budget. You'd have to get into the Secretary Department if you want to know those numbers.
And I know you've chosen to step into this sort of through faith as a people supporting you and that kind of stuff.
I stepped into it the same as the manager who has been here for probably 15 years before me, and trust that God will provide. And He does.
Yeah.
Do you drink a lot of soup?
And apple chips.
Yeah.
The only time I've had the soup is the same time you guys have it. That's the time we serve it. But
That's great.
one question I guess I do get asked, and on that note, the soup is basically all shipped to third world countries. We've had a lot of requests for it at different soup kitchens and stuff in country as well. The original idea for this place was to help third world countries out, so that's one of the reasons. And another big reason why we don't keep the soup in Canada is Lucerne Foods and the hothouses that grow the peppers and all these places. They give it to us with the agreement that we are shipping it off, not into their market, like shipping it out of the country. So that's another reason, I guess, that we do that. But
You don't do any fruit except apples?
we have done peaches, apricots. I think those are the only fruits that I know of. They may have done a couple others, but apples is really the only one on a regular basis. Yeah, it's $5 to be a lifetime member at Gleaners, and the only reasons you might want to be a member of Gleaners is to help it operate. Every member gets to vote at the meetings for the board members. Gleaners is not a denominational thing. It started with a bunch of people who wanted it to be a layman's ministry, non-denominational. All kinds of different churches come and help out, and it runs literally from members voting and board members, and it's its own entity. It's not run by any bigger organization. It's the other Gleaners locations are different than us, but that's how this one functions. So, yeah, $5, and then you get our wonderful newsletter. I think it's once every 3 months, if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you mentioned we do have T-shirts,
Yeah.
hats, and these are not something we actually make any money off of. They're just basically promotion. People can ask you, what's Gleaners, if they see it on your shirt, if you're interested. Yeah, we have hats and shirts and even some cookbooks that somebody put together.